Hello, everybody. How is everybody? How's Babidi doing? I guess. I guess that's what I was planning to say. How's Babidi doing? So I hope everybody's doing well. And look at that. I mean, just like we've expected. If you, those who remember, last week we spoke about how this week will look like, and we said probably will take roughly about 2 sessions for us to retreat back to 5909, and then below and behold, we just hit perfectly 5909 just literally a second ago. So roughly as expected, bouncing off of it right now as we speak. So perfectly as expected so far. Before I truly get into things, hello everybody, Mr. Awesome, Blackberry, Stonks, of course, Michalis, hello. Those who will not make themselves known and will wait for later, well, I'm sorry, it will take some time then for me to acknowledge. Hello, Leo. How hope you're doing well, sir. Good to see you here, sir. Please smash the like key, sir, like that, sir. I'll tremendously appreciate that, sir. Now, yeah, let's get into business. I mean, jokes aside, everything kind of played out as expected. Let's see what we should expect for the upcoming sessions and how things should will be expected from here on out. 1 minute is not all that important, really. What we're doing, of course, we're bouncing off right now. We have the last final hour, roughly about 45 minutes. I would argue that we probably can make it all the way to 59.16 based upon how this is building up, although this is very bearish. So might actually flip over on it and end up getting stuck at that 5909 and getting closed roughly around that region. So that's not going to be all that surprising. 5 minutes, what is 5 minutes showing? 5 minutes is actually quite bearish. Objectively speaking, we are at face value bearish, although going for convergence of the forces on the stochastic RSI, which indicates that we might have some relief. That totally makes sense, hitting that 5909 as expected. So kind of retesting it, maybe getting to do a little bit of that wedge. So that totally makes sense. Now, I mean, no big surprises here for us. Everything that we've mentioned before. 30 minutes still very bearish, I would argue, at face value, so no surprises right there. Pretty clear what it's doing. Let's see what the channels are showing. So narrow channel we see basically flat. That was the yellow we saw behind. The wider channel, if you're going to be more attentive right now, is rather well, downwards pointing right now. It's kind of, well, it's flat with some inkling downwards, we call that. So it's not necessarily bearish in full force, but you're definitely starting to see the buildup of that downwards structure. So it's not positive at all. We still do have the remnants of the gap above us, which is actually, well, I was hoping to see it get closed before. Maybe even, I was like super hopeful maybe we'll even do that, because we did originally have momentum in the system, but it all went being spent on this back and forth that we had. All these gaps that opened up, had to correct them. So, or at least not didn't have to, but definitely the market ended up doing so, and basically ended up using a lot of its bullish momentum for these various processes. Hello, Murad. Good to see you. So yeah, we are at face value more bearish than bullish on the 30 minutes, as you can see right there. We are in oversold territory and bearish dominant. So that gives us a continuation of that bearish momentum based upon the 30 minutes, based upon where we are sitting at right now towards the end of the session. It's far more likely that based on how this looks like, we're going to have tomorrow a continuation of a bearish session. It's very likely that the market will be magnetized and will try to close this gap that we have roughly from call it 5888, pretty neat number right there, all the way to 5868, I think. So just call it $20. We have a gap of $20 here to be closed. Based upon this, I would argue that it's far more likely that it will get closed relatively shortly, and well, probably tomorrow's session, literally, based upon how it looks. But let's confirm it on the 45 minutes. 45 minutes, likewise, just like the 30 minutes, is very bearish at face value, as you can see right there. and in oversold territory, giving us amplification of the bearish momentum. So it's far more likely that tomorrow we're going to continue the current trend that we've been seeing throughout today. Even if we're going to stop for the end of the session today, we still have about 40 minutes, like I said, and end up retesting that 59.09. It still does show, based upon the 45 and 30 minutes, that we're far more likely tomorrow to continue that sentiment that we've been having for the last couple of days and make it to the bottom of that gap, which is roughly around why is that showing? Wait, wasn't it different? Wasn't like $20, or am I mistaken? Well, it looks like I was wrong. It's 58.76, so call it $10. We have a gap of $10 there. I've exaggerated, or maybe it's just because, oh yeah, I've been seeing, of course I'm a moron. I am a moron. I forgot I saw it on the smaller time frame, not on this one. And so it got readjusted based upon the structure of the candlesticks. Totally makes sense. Hello, Next Level. Good to see you. How are you doing? Bad Wars Gang. Sorry, I did not say hello. I did not notice. Hello to you too. Hope you ladies and gents are doing well today. Bad Wars Gang, I remember, but still write it down. Be the first one. Once we're finishing with the SPX, you know, guys, we will continue to the assets. So don't forget to put a star as such next to your tickers that you want me to look at. All right, so I will notice them better. What else? So yeah, I mean, looking at 4 hours. Wait, I think I've skipped 1 hour. No, I've skipped 1 hour. Yeah, I got carried away and skipped. So fine sound, no problem. There, we will do that in a couple of minutes once we're done. Okay, so what do we have here? At face value, we are in bearish territory. Sorry, we're in oversold. We're below the 20, which tends to amplify the bearish momentum, the selling momentum, or rather show us the amplification of it, if anything. We were on this temporary cool off, so we saw the bullish side of things take dominance, right? The K took dominance, was above on top, and so we got bearish momentum with a bit of a relief, cool off. Now we're seeing convergence of the forces, right? So that emphasizes that loss of bullish momentum. The loss of bullish momentum, if continues the way it is in oversold territory, again, switching over to bearish, basically, it will amplify the bearish momentum we've been having being in that oversold territory. So we're not going to see any bullish momentum. It's basically going to get completely canceled out, and we will continue having the price action continue downwards as expected last week, just as we've predicted and spoke about. And yeah, that definitely confirms the 58.76. In fact, I would argue this structure on this time frame potentially implies that we might see 58.53.97, this level rather shortly. I don't think it will take too long, and maybe a couple more sessions, so towards the end of the week. Depends how quickly we will react to the downwards pressure that we've been seeing from the smaller time frames. But of course, if that will dissipate, we'll still end up testing this towards the week end, and not even if during the following sessions. Don't forget, we don't have Thursday. Thursday is off. We don't have market. So yeah, don't forget that. What else? Let's continue. What else? Now we're on a 4 hours. 4 hours, we will have more bearish outlook towards the following sessions, because 4 hours almost similar to the daily. It can actually show us the daily candlestick. It's just that normally the 4 hourly, the only difference is to, of course, it's only a part of the session, and so it shows us the pre-market, the session itself, and the post-market. Because we don't have pre and post-market on this particular ticker, we see it in the continuous structure, so we usually view it here on the continuous contract. So really, we will not end up seeing these 4 hourly candlesticks that complete the structure, but really they are very, very similar. Your daily and your 4 hourly kind of show together. They do end up just breaking into 2 candlesticks. It's similar to viewing the 1 hourly and the 30 minute, right? Kind of in relativity. So the 4-hourly is also already very bearish. Why? Because it was not able, remember we spoke about this, was not able to break above the 80 properly. In fact, stumbled upon it, now got rejected. If we will see continuation of that bearish momentum, which we know is very likely based upon the smaller time frames that we looked at, and we saw that we're probably going to be continuing to have some more bearish momentum in the following session at least, or two, and so all that bearish momentum will print right here on the larger time frames, indicating that we're sliding even lower. If we will be able to break below the 50, we will see a truly bearish trend materialize and not a corrective trend as I've been seeing for the past several weeks, really. Okay, so we might be on the cusp of starting to generate a real bearish trend. Why? Because we are already low based upon relative levels, right? And we're seeing indication for more bearishness. If we're seeing that, it's far more likely that from that low point we'll end up at even a lower point. Make sense? Okay, I hope so. I truly do hope so. Those who it doesn't make sense to, sign up for my one-on-one academy, and I will teach you one-on-one how to make sense of it all. Don't forget to join the Patreon. By the way, quick shout out to the Patreon members, to all the new members that have joined. Don't forget, this is the link. Here it is. You actually had it in the beginning of the video. It is patreon.com/investory, right? Just like that. You definitely don't forget to switch over that little ticker, right? The little thing, so it activates 15% off, and you will be getting to pay $17 instead of 20. You'll get to participate in all the weekly hangouts. You'll get to participate on the daily hangouts we have. Depends on you, of course, your level of participation, but you can choose the various tiers. The higher the tier, the more one-on-one time you can have with me. It's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. I'll add the details very shortly to the Patreon, just for you to know what the difference is between the different tiers. What else? I wanted to mention something else. Don't forget, boys and girls, those who do join the Patreon, all activity is conducted on Discord. Then when you join Patreon, you just switch over to Discord. You come here, you confirm your roles, identify yourself by going through this wonderful link that will just allow you to connect your applications. Don't forget to use the same email for both your Discord and your Patreon. And then just you join us on a daily basis right here in the open forum, where we discuss anything and everything, from food to the stock market, from stock market to, I don't know, good music, you name it, literally anything and everything. Kind of an open community thing. Must watch, of course, are various videos that I post for you guys to watch that I find necessary and important. Various information for beginners here at Charting 101 to get more of an appropriate idea of how supports and resistances work, structure of the market, candlesticks, the various sort of necessary tools, various hints, of course, and various other cool activities that I conduct in the community. The server is 100% private. I repeat, the Discord server is 100% private. That means to join the Discord server and actually be able to be preview to all the channels, you must be a Patreon member. Even on the lowest tier, doesn't matter. You'll be able to join vast majority of activities, so don't forget that. It's kind of important. Otherwise, you'll not be able to access that private server, just to be clear. Okay? Okay, cool. Now, so let's continue. Let's finalize this. Let's finish off the S&P, see what is it we're seeing. Remember, we kind of spoke about this now that we're seeing this in the frame. Remember the red bubble, the red accursed bubble, which I kind of said that it's going to be far more likely, based upon how the structure was, to see the price action break down into the bubble. No, I have not moved it. I promise. You can watch the previous videos and see I have not moved it. The expectation was that it will make it into the red bubble throughout this week. But we have to be realistic. Even though we're tremendously bearish, as we've expected to become oversold, we do still see convergence of the forces. This might slow things down. Okay, doesn't mean it gets completely rejected or canceled. No, just means it gets things slowed down. It means it's not necessarily going to be this very weak, this very particular candlestick. Maybe I should have done it this way. It doesn't necessarily mean this very candlestick is going to be the one that will penetrate the red bubble that we've mentioned, like so. No, what could be is that we could maybe see price action take us towards 58.50 as we mentioned, looking at the smaller time frames, and then from the smaller time frames take us yeah, to the left. Of course, that totally makes sense. Break us downwards towards where the levels of the red bubble kind of ish are, towards 5700. Those of you who watched last week's videos and remember what we spoke about, we are talking about 5700 to be the first testing area. It will be unsurprisingly so a similar testing area that we had before on this smaller shoulder, if you will. There are kind of several layers of head and shoulders on this structure. It's actually not that obvious unless you look at it in all the right time frames, but literally there are multiple structures. So the idea is that based upon how this looks like, we're not necessarily expecting the price action to break towards 57 this very week, but it might be next week. So again, prolonged process, in fact, might take 3 weeks. Why? It is a common structure to see the market have this red candlestick followed by a green candlestick, similarly so kind of having a bit of a correction, then followed by another red candlestick. Those who remember, there was a shape like that in Tetris. It looked like that, almost like a thing. Oh my god, I cannot draw to save my own life. Like that. Fuck. Like that. Right? There was like shape like this in Tetris. So that's kind of it, right? We're doing that shape, if you will. That's what could be. It doesn't necessarily mean it is the case. Based upon how things looking at face value, we are having far more bearish momentum, and even in a smaller time frame. So yeah, it does look as if it's far more likely we're going to drop towards the red bubble sooner than later. But don't forget, it might take some time. The market does not do anything in a linear fashion. Nothing at least does not appear on the smaller structure. Of course, if we're just only on the weekly, so that totally makes sense. It's going to be a process, and you see right here when we switch to the monthly, on the monthly perception, it's going to be a singular candlestick potentially, right, bringing us within the month from roughly about 6,000 to about 5,700, giving us this correction of $300 ish area. That's it. This is kind of what we're seeing on the S&P. How can we confirm it? By the way, of course, I mean, I did not emphasize, but yes, we're continuing to become more bearish as we go, just like we expected, right? There you go. By the way, I was just notified to remind you that I have only 2 spots in the One-on-One Academy. Very important. That's actually very important, because once these 2 spots are filled in, well, you'll have to wait until I have new empty spots, simply because I'm one guy and I have plenty of things to do. And in that One-on-One Academy, I get together with you. There are no videos involved. Well, there are some maybe fun videos to watch together, but otherwise, we get together, I turn on the camera, you can see my screen, and I'll teach you one-on-one, like a tutor, like a private tutor, how you'd hire to teach your child to learn math or English or any sort of any profession, anything that you would hire a tutor for your kid. The same way I would be sitting there with you, one-on-one, sharing screen, talking back and forth, answering your questions, and teaching you how to do this. And in fact, a lot more than just this. Oh, you can ask my students. Some of them are here in the chat right now. We go a lot more in depth than just this basic stuff that I show right here on the lives. I go far deeper and explain how the methodology and how it all works, the strategy, the various involved strategies, and how they're all correlated into a singular system. So yeah, that is it. We know the larger time frames have not been readjusted yet, so we're going to be patient since they're not even a month old yet. I would give it a little bit of time, and let's see ourselves getting closer to Q1 before we make any conclusions on the structure of these time frames. Makes sense, I would argue. All right, here we go. I can breathe. Oh my god, we are breaking below 59.09. That is horrible. That is so quick. That is so quick, which by the way signifies that it's far more likely that we're going to retrace back and retest this level, which coincidentally 5909 matches right here with the median of the larger term channel. So that means even if we do deviate from the smaller range, which that's not going to be such a deviation, let's be honest, this area is more of a junction between 5909, the median of the longer duration channel, and the shorter duration channel ceiling. As you can see, there's a ceiling right there. So this point is very important. And I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to retest it tomorrow. Okay, that's going to be tomorrow. That's what tomorrow looks like, that area, 5909, although right now we're lower. Yo, Stonky, my God. There is already SoFi. You don't see. What is this? Oh, you're just reminding me, I guess. You're just being awesome. Thank you. I'm kidding. No worries. All right, that is that. And let's go to your tickers, boys and girls. Let's analyze. Fat cats fixed their profits today. I believe so. I mean, they are probably. I mean, look, they've been doing it for quite a while. If today was any special, then they're doing a shitty job, you know. But I would argue that yes, it's look. You know, the funny thing is that most people do not realize about institutions. I literally just said, I know. You remember we just had all that red and green, and I said, guys, it's going to overturn and correct on itself. And here we go. Didn't even take an entire day, right? Look, you need to remember that the institutions, that the fat cats, as if you wish to call them, which I totally agree, they basically, if this is a match of whatever nature, doesn't matter, tennis, right? They're basically both players, and in fact, because tennis doesn't work that well for my example, let's say it's basketball, right? So the institutions are both teams, all the crowd, all the referees, they are winning no matter what the market is doing. Of course, sure, they do prefer to have certain things happen. They do have certain priority and a certain sort of structure to things that they prefer to have. Maybe one thing happen before another. But overall, they are making money, whether the market's going up, down, it really doesn't matter. That's part of the trick. Being deployed in all directions in such a way that it's only about when you pick up the yield, if you will, like a farmer does not, plant his all of his farm in such a way that he'll have to pick up everything all together. Simply he'll be overwhelmed, right? Doesn't make any sense. You will always want to have something yielding, right? So there's almost they have this structure that at any given time they have something that is printing money, and even things that are negative to you, they appear to be negative. Don't worry, they have positions on both ends. That's kind of in a way you never lose. Just while one side of your portfolio is losing, another one is making money, and you just fix the losing side, but you hedge. You basically, if you know how to hedge, I didn't want to use this term, but really, what they do is proper hedging, really, and this is what you see. Okay, so let's get back to looking at market tickers and stickers. We were saying, wait, weren't you supposed to be first? Bad words. Weren't you supposed to be first? Wait, you probably were first and I missed it. QBTS. Next level, since you're first and we are utterly fair here, QBTS, I will have to tend to your asset first. Bad words, I'll have to wait a second. I promise we'll do it right away. Let's see what we have. D-Wave Quantum. Okay, I'm quantum computing, I believe. I mean, what exactly do they do in quantum computing? It'll be interesting. I think we haven't. No, I don't think we have. Actually, I'm probably confusing it with something else. Let's see who you are. Oh, why is that? What happened there? What happened? What is this? Why like this? Not what I wanted. Where's my thing? They probably changed it. Well, okay. Let's see, balance sheet, annual, and yeah, so your balance sheet average is going down. More liabilities, you're going up in liabilities, and that's eating away at you. Okay. What were we saying? It's a buy on the technical, supposed, right? I really believe that. D-Wave engages in development and delivery of quantum computing systems. Systems, so software, yes, okay. Software and services. It provides customers with access to companies' quantum computing systems. So basically, it does the quantum computing. I need more information. Cloud-based, okay. It doesn't really mean much. I want to know exactly what you do. Define implementing quantum. Can you please stop repeating the buzzwords? Quantum computing applications. More specific, please. Okay, I did. This sounds like a whole bunch of googly goo that I don't trust. Why? Because they're not saying what they're doing. Quantum computing services. Can you be more precise? Can you be more specific? In what form? What for? What spectrum of services? It's but that's shady. That's shady. I don't like it. Another thing I don't like is this. Although it is on the upper end of things, so it does appear to be more bullish than bearish. We spoke about this. Quantum computing right now does appear to be more bullish in nature right now than bearish. Although this sucks, obviously. This kind of doesn't look cool. That does look like it wants to go for a cushion. What is that? That's the weekly. Weekly. How is the monthly looking like? The monthly looks like you've been overbought and you're actually on the second run around, which was basically this year. Relatively new asset. I'm not sure how much I like this. In fact, it seems like it's testing the obvious ceiling, which was generated when the asset launched. And so that does not to look too healthy. Yeah, you're starting to print data which is on the top, not good. I would say that because of how it looks like, your first step would be to see how it traces right here to the median. Which will be roughly matching with this top channel of the shorter range, which the only one you have on the weekly because lack of data. And then it will start actually being more bearish. As you can see, it sort of goes hand in hand. In other words, you are going down to what appears to be roughly around, call it the 6 area, right? Sorry, roughly around 6 area right here. Call it 6, call it 590, whatever you want to call it. It depends on how slow it will drop. It does appear to be that relatively shortly. I don't think it will last for all too long. Maybe a couple of months. You're going to be back to what seems to be roughly around like we said, if that is it's a couple, so that's weeks, so that's like it's gonna be 6. Yeah, it's gonna ascend enough, but then again with some slippage breaking below that line, even if though the line still the support still plays a role, although it's gonna because it's temporary support. Pardon me. Your weekly SMA is definitely looking good, although definitely want to see it on the daily. Yeah, it's barely at 2.10. You have quite a distance to your actual bottoms. Get ready. It does appear that even though it wants to pretend it's bullish, which it does, it definitely shows that there is some bullish momentum in the system still. But I would be prepared for more overall pain rather than it appreciating in price, because all you're gonna get maybe are some retests of current levels that are already playing a role. Maybe roughly around what seems to be. That's what is that? That's 1027. What a weird level. But it appears to be probably, I mean, even if we would drop it lower, it's, wow, okay, sure, cool. I mean, I can probably locate why you have that level, but I'm pretty sure you have it right there. I'm not 1,000% sure, but the matching of these little two, several candlesticks, I would argue it appears to be suspicious. Where was that? Yeah, it matches with how that level was tested. Here it getting retested again. Like if you want to see it, it's almost like, look, here it is, and here it is again, and then here it is again, right? And those who are objective can understand that really that's what it was as well. and then here it is again. So I think this is a true level. I definitely can see it on a deeper time frame to be more certain off of it. And yeah, you can identify how it was retesting here, how this was basically a test of these very same levels in a way. So very, very certain that you do have that very weird level at 10, 16, 15, whatever you want to call it, 17 maybe. But yeah, roughly that's a level you're going to have to deal with on maybe doing that wedge. And when that is finalized, I believe you're going to start seeing some form of correction. That is the best case scenario you can squeeze out of the smaller time frames. That's really the best case scenario. And once this is all squeezed out, said and done, here it is, right? You will start spilling over and becoming even further more bearish, unless the market will accelerate and taking these two forces below the 50. And once they do break below the 50, you do become a lot more bearish. And once they will be both here with big divergence, you are in deep doo-doo. Just saying. That deep doo-doo might come in various forms because, like we said, you have various supports and resistances. But definitely, if you're going higher, your best case scenario appears to be roughly about 10-16 at the moment. That is that. SoFi. We said SoFi. Here we go. Let's do SoFi. SoFi is okay. I mean, it's on a distinct downwards trajectory, right? You can see that very wonderful new trend that has been generated and is going down. We are testing this median, and then here this very median was tested again. It's definitely true. Right now we've just tested it, and it appears to be that we're basically being rejected back down. As you can see, we were on the bottom right here of that channel, right? We tested it and we were able to break off of it and take a bit of a rally, right, with the market. And then we hit median, and now we're getting rejected. Right now we're testing that shorter term. As you can see, it's hiding in the background right here. Or is it the longer term? Wait, I'm confused. Yeah, that's the longer term actually. So right now what happens here, what really is going on is that there's a longer term trend, right? Here it is, here. And here it is, and here it's center, and we ended up through testing this. Basically, we ended up retesting this. You can see it right here, all of this junk, all that junk inside the trunk. Yes, all that the junk inside the trunk, whatever. Yeah, I can sing that to save my own life. So we were testing this, and then we got rejected by this. So you see both the upwards trajectory and the downwards trajectory are playing a role right now. But let's see what will be the dominant thing. Right now, as you can see, as you can tell, we've got rejected, and we are still testing this, right? This current channel, this one. And if we break lower, which is very, very probable, you see this is very bearish. So that signifies, if we're already at the bottom of the channel and we're about to become more bearish, what do you think will happen? It's like, you just fell through one floor and you see there's a gaping hole below you that, of course, you're going to fall right below right away. And yeah, so that appears to be the continuation of the price action for SoFi for at least the medium term. You are already in oversold territory. Of course, you had all the downwards price action, which, sorry, that was not the intention, which you saw printing through that, right? All of this beautiful thing, it is it. You can see, in fact, how they kind of correlate one to the other. And in fact, you see right here, coincidentally, we're at the top of that channel. So we've been kind of testing. We said we're at the level that if we're going to be brought down further lower, right, it's going to be more painful, which we're seeing that farther lower is oversold territory and actually giving way to the grand sort of overarching structure that we have here, and not the temporary noise that we're having. Okay, remember, that is the temporary noise, and that is the bigger picture. Yeah, makes sense, totally. Cool beans. Now, this is obviously bearish. Once it crosses the threshold of 50, you'll become truly bearish. It will, in fact, amplify and become quicker. to go lower. So this is already not cool. Not cool for you, but it's going to get a lot less cool for you unless it's able to break off of and have an upward trajectory, which will bring you up again to roughly around 1630, at least as a bare minimum, if not even higher. But I kind of doubt it. I have my doubts. You are in fact you're finally finalizing that current impulse that you've been having for the last, well, by a year, half a year-ish, yeah, half a year, kinda. So the last final half year, you basically had a blast. So enjoy. Right now, time to pay for it. Unless you're no longer risking anything, but it does appear to be becoming more bearish. At face value, we're still in oversold territory, so it's not completely clear. But remember, all that bearish momentum that we saw in the smaller time frames, once it starts overturning and bringing us even lower, you see right now we've tested the ceiling of this channel where we hit off test the wedge. So what we're doing here is a wedge, right? Just kind of this wedge, make sense. Once it's retested maybe a couple of times, it continues downwards. We're looking at 1342, 1262. That is our main culprits. These two. That is a very important area. Very important. Yeah. That is SolFi for you. Purely technical, beyond all the discussion we had today in the community, that it's generational and it has some issues that might make it problematic as we go forward into potential full-fledged recession. So yeah, that is sort of beyond the obvious. Which, by the way, another kind of important thing. I already started printing data on the 3 months, the quarterly, which it's never a good sign when you start printing your data from the bottom, from the top. That means you're about to go to the bottom. That kind of switches over normally when it starts. It doesn't often drag out forever and a bit on the upside of things and then does the correction or something. So normally that does not the thing to happen. Normally that's the thing to happen once you do start printing data. Normally, not always. What were we saying? We're saying sound, right? Sound. It's supposed to be sound. I believe it's sound, because I don't think you wanted to do this. Sound doesn't seem like the thing you wanted. I believe it's sound. So let's do sound. Luckily for us, we already have a structure. That is cool. We don't have to spend unnecessary time on generating a structure. I love how cool that is. Now would you look at that? Landed perfectly on my support right there. 1804. Let's just call it 18. It's perfect. You know what? In fact, let's see. Oh, you can't see it because of the damn freaky thingy. Oh, you see that now this is a masterpiece. This is how you find supports and resistances, boys and girls. To be able to find supports and resistances as so, you need to learn in the One-on-One Academy, and I will teach you how to do that like a pro. I have no idea what accent that was. That was an alien. Okay, so people are complaining that I do all these weird noises and accents and this and that, and I am starting to say I don't give a flying fuck. If you don't like the me jerking around having fun while we do this, don't let the door. Actually, you know what? Let the door hit you on your ass out. I really don't care. Now, yeah, so pretty much a flat channel, pretty obvious, unless you're a deaf dumb blind flip-flop living under a rock. So pretty clear what's going on here. Now, what are we doing? Future forward, now that we will be done with this, based upon how this looks like, I have a weird suspicion that what it really wants to do is continue jerking you around, which means now that it's roughly at the bottom of the trend, but it's really testing this thing, that 18 level that we said, and so it'll probably do some weird shit like that, which potentially that's what this indicates, but that end up taking you a lot lower over time. How much time? That appears to be best case, good case, bad case, January 10th. Yeah. That's what it's showing. So roughly about like what 3 days ish, but 3 sessions ish. This is already bearish, very distinctively bearish. You're now broken below the temporary short-term channel. That means you're continuing to see more bearishness, such as it's presenting right here. More bearish. You are bearish at face value and you're in oversold territory. That means total pizdец. Sorry for the Frenchy. Now you potentially, based upon this and based upon, I'm assuming we're going to see something very unpleasant here. Yeah, you get prepared at the very next station, post breaking that 18 level, and the market will be satisfied with it being broken. You will be going to 1566 or 1566 or 1555. Now that is a fun number. You see, guys, we don't make up these numbers. These numbers make up themselves. Okay. We don't make up these numbers. They like to make themselves up. Okay, so these are the numbers that I would be attentive post breaking the levels of 18, which probably are. And by the way, I would probably expect something at about 1740, 1750, 1750, 1740. That totally makes sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense. 17 and a half is definitely a location when you might have some coinkydinks. And it's not just that 1750 number. It's not just that. There's would you look at that? I didn't even know. I swear I didn't notice. Now would you look at that? Now would you look at that perfection? Now would you look at that? I swear I didn't notice. That number makes sense because, I mean, you can ask my students. There's a whole different reason why I think there's a level right there. But yeah, it's like it has to do with various rules of how the market behaves by structures and things in the market. Now, that is even more bearish, which does confirm your breakdown and continuation to be more bearish, more downwards price action, giving you that 1566 and 1555. And yeah, it does appear that eventually we'll end up maybe doing something akin to this. Maybe. Maybe this. That part is more certain. The downwards part is more certain. The other part is less certain, but this is far more probable. This is a lot more probable, given that it has this channel right here diagonally going perfectly exactly where we need to be. It all matches and falls perfectly in line. Does that mean you will not then end up maybe doing this back to 18 levels, or maybe 1750 level that we just mentioned? So doing something akin to this, right? Maybe that is quite a possibility. But remember, this is more of a maybe. This is more of a sure. But again, you do you. This is not financial advice. It's just my certain opinion, right? It does not mean it's financial advice. You do you. Now, what else do we have? What else? Yeah, that's, I should have remembered. No data. Greg, your thoughts on NVIDIA? Of course, let's do NVIDIA. NVIDIA, my thoughts are that perfectly as projected, when we will hit that 141, below and behold, check this out. Check this beautiful thing out, right? Just as expected. In fact, let's look at our supports and resistances. Everything is playing its role perfectly as it should. You can see beautiful. You can see that beautifulness. The further out we go, you can see that beautifulness. Of course, the 146 being tested perfectly. So right now we're residing at 140.76. Although we're below it, your next area will be 138. This 138.86 or that 138.16. So you have a very narrow channel right there that I expect the market to test maybe. Let's see if we see confirmation on the 30 minutes. Yes, it's rather bearish, right? This is rather bearish, so this is kind of pointing that trajectory. Just keep on going and you're there, right? Just keep on going forward and you're there. Now, do you see confirmation? Yes, you see confirmation on these various unpleasantness thingies that were on oversold, bearish already at face value. Same thing in the hourly, definitely riding lower and lower on your stochastic RSI and your 4 hourly, so becoming even more bearish with clear divergence. So yeah, 135.86, 133.12, subsequent to completion of the 138.86. Basically, you can see all the supports and resistances that are shorter term for you right now on the screen. If you want to copy them, copy them. And that is that. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Of course, that larger font one is more dominant. That's why it played the role for so long back and forth, right? You can see that perfectly, right? You can see. Sí, señor. Yes. Those who know. Pablo Francisco. Amazing comedian. Amazing comedian. Pablo Francisco. Yes. My advice is to go long on Greg and his membership. The ROI is good. Dancers or not. I sadly do not provide the dancers. You need to bring the dancers. I bring the knowledge. You bring the dancers. So, yes. Hello, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful Christoph. How is you do, brother? I'm late, but have my helmet with me. That's the most important. Don't forget to bring your tinfoil jacket, body armor. Sometimes it helps as well with the crazy stuff we talk about here. Smashy things and then stuff. Absolutely. More one-on-one time sounds suspicious. Hey, Stonky. Some people like one-on-one time with dear old Greg. I mean, you know. Some people want one-on-one. Wink, wink. I'm telling you, I'm considering to open only Greg. I heard that I have this one YouTuber I follow, a great dude. He has his only Burks, and I have only Greg's. That's how it's gonna be. We also have private dancers. Christoph, when I'm drunk and dancing, it doesn't count. Like it never I mean, let's pretend that never happened. It really never did. My advice is to go along Greg. Yes, membership. Yes, absolutely. We said that. Greg, we have 3 tickers mentioned. QBTS, SoFi Sound. Okay, yeah, I had a feeling you were following the previous ones. You goddamn legend. You goddamn legend. Love you much, brother. Johnny, hello, Johnny. VRT. Let's do VRT. Let's do VRT. Veritas is like, is that Veritas or something? I think Vertiv, right. Right. I remember we've seen them the other week. I remember we've checked them out a little while back. Right, so what are we doing here? Shorter term, it appears to be more bullish than bearish. But like the rest, we're building up a distinct downwards trend for a while, and now we've tested the area twice, so definitely clear confirmation, I would argue. So twice and twice. We basically moved from one end of the channel to the other end, and now to the other end. And yes, some slippage, boys and girls, that's normal. Remember, we say it all the time, right? Maybe I should use some weird color like that. Yeah, okay, cool. Maybe like that ish. Okay, cool. That works. So yeah, as you can see right there in that vicinity, we're kind of testing that median, and so we are in a negative wedge. I think that's what I've mentioned last time. Could that be the thing I've mentioned, this negative wedge that is generated? So yeah, that totally makes sense. We might get locked into it for a little while, just based upon how the hourly looked like, right? Because it's sort of contradictive to the 4 hourly, but let's see. The daily, I mean, your 4 hourly is already hurtling towards 50 range on stochastic, so it doesn't look good. Yeah, some more bullishness to squeeze, so that totally makes sense. I mean, look at this bullishness. Look at where I structured this. So down, up, right? We have this up, and that totally makes sense. Unless the market will start pulling it on it, tugging it on it stronger and bringing it lower. What about price levels? If you want to know about price levels, shouldn't we have a structure? I'm pretty sure I measured this before. Let me guess. Oh, let's look at the years. Right, that's going to be the. Ugh, why? Right. Then is this or is it the other one? Damn it. You know what? Well, no. Yeah, well, let's see. Let's do some testing here. Worst case scenario. That looks suspiciously all perfect to me. I think I have a bullseye there. I have a suspicion I kind of did it right. What do you say, boys and girls? Based upon this one very particular support and resistance, and it's a full cycle, so it totally makes sense. But that also means, damn, you're going down. Damn. Okay, so yeah, you can see it better now, by the way. You can see distinctively how my supports and resistances just magically work. Remember, boys and girls, don't try this at home unless you know why you're doing what you're doing, which I also teach in my one-on-one academy. How to sign up to one-on-one academy? DM me. You DM Greg, we talk, and if everything is good, we continue forward. Remember, 2 less spots. When they're filled, done for a while. Why? Because for the average student, it takes about 3 months to finish the academy. That's that. I think I've covered this, at least because you're gonna be stuck in such a narrow wedge for quite a while, so it doesn't really matter unless the market starts pulling down on you, and then you'll know about it anyways. So you're kind of in this negative wedge all in all, but be careful. Be careful, it might start pulling on you quicker than you expect. Just one beautiful morning, you wake up and shit hits the fan. You know? And it's everywhere. It's like everywhere. 18 watching and 13 likes. I agree, Stonks. That is absolutely not fair. We get 2 more, please. I agree, Stonks. Thank you. Thank you, brother from another mother. That is the right way to go. So you assume there will be 3 people who don't want to smash the Greg? At least 3 people, if not more. Gentlemen, there's not enough of me to smash for everyone. But I smash Stonky on weekends. Stonky has reserved time, as you can see. He's gonna kill me for all the crazy jokes. Just optimistic 5 would, of course, be perfect. Jokes aside, thank you all for those who do participate. You know, press the like, ring the bell, all that bullshit. I know I make fun of it all, but really tremendously, seriously, thank you. It's such a small, tiny, not serious effort. If you really take the second to do that, and it's freaking free. I mean, if you really take the tiny effort to do that, I really do appreciate it. At the same time, although it's free and all that beautiful thing, it also feels meaningless. So people think like, why do that anyways? It really does mean something to me. First of all, it is confirmation that some of you guys really respect me enough to do that tiny little effort for me. More so they understand that this might result in the channel doing better over time. That's how YouTube works, right? And of course, you guys know, I'm not looking to be famous, an influencer, schminfluencer, none of that bullshit. But I do appreciate the appreciation, just kind of I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of thing. And I really do appreciate it. It's quite a simple task. So, yeah. Some can still retest the 20s level before getting down. I hope I was pretty clear because I don't remember what I've explained. I don't have to retain the knowledge of all this stuff. I hope I was clear on that. I got kidnapped and taken to lunch. That sounds not so horrible, Casey. I hope you're having fun, sir. I hope you're eating stuff you like. At least you were. I hope you were kidnapped for good lunch. Like a good pizza or tacos. Tacos burritos is the best. Actually, jokes aside, my favorite tacos are tacos birria. That is legendary stuff. Those here who know how to make tacos birria, you yourself are amazing people. I love you a lot, and please let me come and eat with you tacos. Please, 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 please. And no further tickles. Tickle. Do not tickle. Our current video was without any indicators, so didn't pick up that one. What do you mean? We did NVIDIA, we do it normally. What do you mean? We do NVIDIA normally as we usually do. It's all the same. Nothing really changed. It's very negative, and given this very bad red candlestick, will probably dwell and test that golden pocket, right? Or at least maybe the 100% retracement right there on the older trend, 140.76. Look, it's definitely going more down, right? But on based upon this very prolonged downwards candlestick, I would argue that we'll probably see some retest on some of these levels just for the comfort of the market, maybe retesting that median. It all matches. So basically what we're looking at right now is getting stuck at around 139-ish area. That's kind of the main thing. Palantir, of course. How could I then forget Palantir, our beloved Palantir? Yes. The people want the Palantir. How could I forget the Palantirs? We do the Palantirs. Okay, let's look at the Palantirs. Palantirs, 75.57. Yeah, remember that weird number. It's mirrored and all that. And of course, as you can see, was tested. And so, guess what? Got tested again, right? How weird that Greg gets the spot again. Yeah. So it is when you practice enough, you can find the spot perfectly. The spot. Yes. Now, what are we? We are more bearish. We also broke below the channel. In fact, I would argue that it does appear to be that we will be testing the ceiling, then this bottom, and probably this 76.12 is your thing. 67.12, Bob is your sister. So yes, that seems to be the location right after retesting the channel, maybe even 75.57 over time. Kind of, if you really want to imagine it in whatever form it might play out, something akin to, actually kind of drew it, but sure, let's do it again. It's kind of retesting these levels, if maybe making it to this level, retesting back to this level, retesting back to down level, retesting back up, giving it a perfect junction of 75.57 with the bottom of the channel and with the 75.57, and then giving it a breakdown. That will be so perfectly, how the market likes to behave. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, here it is. This is our bearish momentum that I was predicting after all of that noise. Here it is. It starts to print. It's going to take some time. We were expecting this, by the way. If you remember the previous sessions when we spoke about Palantir, we were saying and seeing this. Of course, we see it might take some time since we're still in overbought territory, giving us basically the opposite of the bullish while in bullish. So like you're still in bullish court. In other words, all you can do is mitigate the bullish effects with that bearish momentum that you are having, or the deterioration of the bullish momentum. Oh my God, cannot speak, it seems. Let me take a sip, because I'm stuttering on my own words. That's not cool. That was nice. Okay, so 69.99. Yep, and going lower. Nothing that we did not prepare for, nothing that we did not expect. And if you watch the previous videos, everything as expected. Yeah, that's that. Now, what else? Greg, what's on your watch list? SQQQ. I got rid of the plug for now because it's going down, and we think it played its course, at least for now. So right now it's SQQQ. SQQQ and some more SQQQ. That is what I hold, and which now I have 600 SQQQs, which are equal to pre-post split to like 3,100 or something ish in that vicinity. Maybe more. Never bothered counting after the buy. So 600ish, and I'm planning to get at least back up to 1,000 of them as soon as I can. Yes. Next level, online list on Discord. What? We don't have no. What? Christoph, stop lying. We don't have anything like that. I just hold S triple Q. Christoph, don't confuse people. Come on. No worries, Mossad. Mossad might try to have me, but my alien mothership will abduct you. Oh, Stonky. Scratch my Japanese. You know what looks look like, man, or what it is at the back. Wait, because you're an alien, you don't necessarily have a back. You have tentacles. Greg, no indicates for it being a ticker request. You got me wrong. Much appreciated for the 16 likes we got. Thank you very much, actually. Yes, thanks very much, brother. Thank you very much for reminding people to do that. It's such a small, tiny effort, but yeah, when people do that, I really do appreciate it. How about SPXU? You want me to seriously look? Let's, I think you should know, Leo. I think you should know. I think you should know. Let's see. 1 to 5. 1 to 5 and 1 to 4. Right. But you get the idea, yeah. What the dividend? Yeah, I didn't expect it to be much. Price relatively cheap. I mean, now it's as lucrative as if you would look at SQQQ. If I'm not mistaken, we do have time decay on these as well. So, although I'm not mistaken, it's a little bit smaller. So, yeah, no, Stonks, you know what it is. And Leo, you know what it is. Yeah. The plug was hurting. It's just like, yeah. Yep. Which are, again, we know how identical the SPX and NASDAQ are both to one another. Just the discrepancy, relative prices. So, Casey, very good. Gentlemen, you guys make me so proud that you always go to the sources and you really look at the right things. That makes me so goddamn happy. Greg, thoughts on oil prices? Oil prices were actually pretty impressive in the last couple of days, and I do think we're going to retrace back sadly to 72, 74. It is a major support, and based upon how the channel is structured right now, I do think we're going to end up retesting it, and it also matches with the median. Yes, it still could be that we'll retest 71.40 or even something that will feel like 70, maybe even 70 itself, but we're starting to see the move. Another attempt to pick back up. Okay, so you can see the previous one, and here's the current one. Okay, you can see where basically we've been in this channel. We got it tested to death now, and we're trying to move up towards what would be this diagonal, which will reside for us roughly at around either 78 or maybe 78. You know what? Screw that. Let's just call it 78. It's definitely going to be 78. Oof. Oh, that's definitely going to be 78 probably. We're going to be testing that beautiful thing, which is then 78.83. One way or another, whether we're going to be testing it here or here. So, yeah. Unless we find another gigantic oil reserve, I don't know, somewhere, magically, perfectly timed, and then we're going to have deep problems with oil taking longer to elevate. But it does appear like oil is on an uptrend and have been doing so for some time now. And yeah. So that is it. We're already in overbought territory, which is kind of iffy on the daily. Weekly is still picking up and will such print higher. I basically don't expect it to see any proper decent corrections before we hit what would be then 82 by the time it measures. It's going to be roughly around like what 80. ish. So by that time we make it to 80, somewhere around there, like that, like so, as such. And then we'll see. In fact, I probably should do these bubbles so they stand out like that. Maybe even like that. Make them stand out. In fact, let's make them really stand out. More like that. Perfect. Perfect, I would say. Right. So that's what we're expecting. In fact, that is oil for ya. Yes, no, we said well. What are the relevant areas to load more on SQQ? Do you think it will be back at $28 price? I rather not discuss what I think that it's going to be, and SQQ we tackle only in the Discord. Why? Because I'm afraid a lot of people here will get the wrong idea, will start diving into assets they're not familiar, don't understand well enough, so I'm going to be an ass, and I'm going to say we're not discussing SQQ and such assets in the lives. Those who want to discuss assets of this nature with us, assets that are inverse to the market, you need to be part of the community, so we're going to be able to speak openly, and you're not gonna do any crazy things, and if you do, it's all on you. And we're also still going to send you to do a lot of research. Why? Because, well, it's a very risky asset. It might get prolonged. You might spend a lot of money just sitting and waiting. So again, it's like sitting in the life raft when you don't clearly know whether the ship is going down or not. And that life raft only matters and should be used only when the ship does go down. Based upon my assessments, yes, we are going down, but you do you. And come on, Bed Wars, we don't do SQQ here. We do SQQ in the community. So tomorrow or whenever you have time, jump in, and I'll be more than happy to discuss it and explain the in-depth idea of where SQQ can go. And of course, it's up to you to decide. I will, of course, notify the community, and we'll let know when I am getting rid of my SQQ. Guys, don't be worried about it, but you do you regardless. You shouldn't be following Greg blindly because Greg did one thing. It doesn't mean it's correct. Maybe Greg has a lesser tolerance of risk than you do. How do you know? Maybe. You think tomorrow market red again? Yes, next level. We spoke about this earlier in the live. It does appear that tomorrow's market is a little bit more red, continuing to be more red. And so, yes, generally speaking. Next, I will throw something at you. Stop saying things like that. I'll time you out. I know you guys say that with jokes, and I really appreciate the good time we have here as a community, but seriously, some people might get it wrong. Next level, stop it. No, stop it. Good job, though. Good job. You put a smile on my face. Ladies and gents, I do enjoy the hangout with you. As you can tell, at least I hope you can tell, I really do enjoy the hangouts with you and the conversation, the back and forth. That's it, boys and girls. I think we're done for today. I think we do have our projection for tomorrow. Nothing that we have not spoke about last week. Everything we were. My grandpa told me Greg controls the stock market. Casey, stop giving away company secrets. This is a problem. Stop it. Can you check crowd real quick? Okay, real quick. For you, final ticker, crowd. Don't do that. Don't sit for the last second, lady. Oh, come on. I'll wait until the last second. The very last second. I remember saying that CrowdStrike will recover from that nonsense that it had. And it appears to be that it kind of recovered, and then through that created an artificial ceiling and maybe a corrective point. And so we are kind of on very similar levels, but we're below, so that creates a head and shoulders of form. Yeah, you know what? You are probably going down, at least for temporarily. It seems to be roughly around towards 300 and what is that? Like 300-ish area. Call it 300, which I'm not going to be I'm not surprised being where it is, giving it becomes a psychological level basically. Let's see if we can find a candlestick that matches 300 perfectly. Oh, come on. One of you? Ugh, close enough. Close enough. Close, but no cigar. But that'll work. That will do. I will do. Okay, right. So that's your 300 level, which I want to make a bit differently colored. If you don't mind, I want you to make it like that. So you will be definitely what appears to be testing that location, which is 300. Doesn't matter how you look at it in terms of time, up to you. It might take a day, might take a week, might take 3, but generally speaking, that appears to be the general location to which the market is aiming to, which totally makes sense. It's that psychological level. It also is that let's keep it purple. Yeah, I know what that said. Keep it purple, purple dash like that. Beautiful, beautiful. We'll probably talk about it when we're there, right? Well, let's do like that. X. Oh my god. Boom. How about them apples, madam? Done. X marks the spot. Okay? Got it done. Got it done. All right, so final shout out. Join the Discord, those who are not yet on Discord, so you can have more one-on-one time with me, learn in-depth methodologies. Don't forget to click the clicky thingy to change it into 15% discount. Pay annually, so it's going to be $17 instead of 20. If you want one-on-one time with me, that is not necessarily in-depth technical analysis, tutoring, but in-depth analysis of your assets, whatever assets you want to do, kind of similar to what we're doing here. One-on-one, you want to do one of these, depending on how much time you might need on a monthly basis. And that one, if you don't think you need any one-on-one time with me and just want to hang out and all that beautiful stuff, so that $17 a month, not a big deal. You get to learn a lot of cool stuff. You can ask the members that are already members. And that's it, boys and girls. Love you much. See you on the next one. See you on the Discord. And see you tomorrow. And don't forget, Thursday we have a day off. That's it, boys and girls. Peace out.